The puppy that discovered a cave. Once upon a time, in a small sunlit town nestled between gentle hills and wide wandering meadows, there lived a little brown puppy named Maple. Maple was curious from the tip of her wet nose to the end of her wagging tail. She loved to explore the world around her, chasing butterflies, sniffing wildflowers, and making new friends wherever she went. Maple lived with her human family in a cozy house with a red door and a backyard full of tall grass and dandelions. Each morning, as the golden sun peeked over the horizon, Maple would leap out onto the soft, dew-covered grass, ready for a new adventure. She had a garden of her own, where she buried her favorite sticks, and a special patch under the oak tree where she liked to nap in the shade. One bright, breezy morning, Maple woke up with a peculiar feeling in her heart, as if something wonderful was waiting for her just beyond the familiar backyard fence. She sniffed the air and caught a hint of something earthy and mysterious. Her ears perked up, and she bounced over to the edge of the yard, where the world opened up into the wild green meadows she loved to explore. Today, Maple decided, would be a day for discovery. She trotted through the tall grass, her nose twitching as she followed the trail of a hopping grasshopper. She watched a family of rabbits nibbling on clover and giggled, a sound that for a puppy was all wagging tails and happy yips, at the way their fluffy tails bobbed as they hopped away. After a while, Maple wandered further than she ever had before. The meadow sloped down into a little hollow where the sunlight danced in patches through the leaves of old, twisted trees. It was here that Maple spotted something odd. A cluster of stones arranged in a circle, with moss growing thick and green over their edges. Behind the stones, hidden beneath a tangle of wild vines, was a dark, round opening in the earth. Maple's heart skipped a beat. She crept closer, her nose quivering with excitement and a little bit of nervousness. She had never seen a place like this before. Peering into the opening, Maple felt a cool breeze drift out, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and ancient secrets. It was a cave, a real cave. Maple's eyes widened in wonder. What could be inside? Would there be sparkling gems, or perhaps slumbering creatures? Maybe there would be echoes that danced and played, or mysterious tunnels that twisted and turned. Maple sat very still for a moment, listening to the gentle whisper of the wind and the soft rustling of leaves. She remembered what her human, Mia, always told her. Curiosity is wonderful, but always be careful, Maple. Maple took a deep breath, steadying her courage, and then she wagged her tail and stepped inside. The cave was cool and dark, but not frightening. Maple's eyes slowly adjusted, and she could see that the walls were lined with smooth stones, sparkling faintly in the dim light. Her paws made soft, muffled taps as she explored deeper inside. Every sound echoed back to her like a gentle chorus, and Maple giggled to herself, barking softly and listening as her voice danced around the cave. As she wandered, Maple noticed that the cave was full of wonders. On one wall, she found a patch of glittering crystals that shone with every color of the rainbow, casting tiny rainbows on the ground. She sniffed at a pool of clear, cool water that reflected her face back at her, making her bark in surprise at her own reflection. But the most surprising thing of all was what Maple found at the very heart of the cave. A tiny, trembling creature, no bigger than Maple herself, with bright eyes and a fluffy tail. It was a fox cub curled up and looking quite lost. Maple approached gently, remembering how it felt to be in a new place, unsure and a little afraid. She sat down beside the fox cub and wagged her tail, offering a friendly smile. "Hello," Maple barked softly. "My name is Maple. Are you okay?" The fox cub looked up, its eyes wide and shy. "I got separated from my family," it whispered. "It's dark and a little scary in here." Maple nodded. "It's a little scary for me too," she admitted. "But it's also exciting. There are so many beautiful things to see. Would you like to explore with me?" The fox cub's nose twitched hopefully. "I'd like that," it said. Together, the two new friends wandered through the cave, discovering all sorts of magical things. they found a patch of mushrooms that glowed softly in the darkness, lighting their way like tiny lanterns. They discovered a hidden tunnel that led to a secret room where the walls were covered in ancient paw prints, perhaps left by explorers long ago, just like them. Maple and the fox cub laughed and played, chasing their reflections in the pool and listening to the songs of the cave. Maple taught the fox cub how to make echoes by barking just so, and the fox cub showed Maple how to spot tiny insects that made their homes in the cracks of the stone. But soon, Maple remembered that the sun would be setting soon, and her human family would be waiting for her at home. She turned to the fox cub. "Let's find your family before it gets dark," she said gently. The fox cub nodded, its eyes shining with gratitude. Together, they followed the tunnels back to the cave's entrance, where the last rays of sunlight painted the world in gold and pink. Outside, they listened for the sound of fox voices, and soon, a worried mother fox came running from the trees, her tail waving with relief. The fox cub ran to her, nuzzling close, and Maple felt a warm glow in her heart. She had made a new friend and helped someone in need. The mother fox thanked Maple, her eyes kind and wise. "Thank you, brave puppy, for helping my little one," she said. "You are always welcome in our meadow." Maple wagged her tail, feeling proud and happy. She watched as the fox family disappeared into the trees, then turned and bounded back across the meadow, through the tall grass and wildflowers, all the way home to her red-doored house. That evening, Maple curled up in her favorite spot under the oak tree, the sounds of the day swirling gently around her. She thought about the cave and all its wonders, the new friends she had made, and the adventures still waiting to be discovered. From that day forward, Maple knew that the world was full of mysteries, just waiting for a curious puppy to find them. She dreamed of sparkling crystals, glowing mushrooms, and the soft, comforting echoes of friendship. And as she drifted off to sleep, she knew that tomorrow would bring new adventures, new discoveries, and maybe, just maybe, another secret cave to explore. And so, in the heart of a small sunlit town, the puppy that discovered a cave became a legend among her friends. Maple would tell stories of her adventure to the birds, the rabbits, and even the wise old owl who lived in the tallest tree. And every time she passed the meadow, she would remember the magic of that day and the gentle promise of many more adventures to come. The end.